As we find ourselves in the midst of another tumultuous period on the global stage, the ongoing conflict in Iran has gripped the attention of governments, analysts, and citizens worldwide. It is a conflict that, as of today, has entered its ninth day and shows no sign of abating. This war, marked by Iranian missile and drone strikes on Gulf states such as Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, represents a dangerous escalation with grave international ramifications. As we unravel the intricacies of this unfolding crisis, it's crucial to understand both the immediate impacts and the broader geopolitical context that surrounds it. The recent attacks on Gulf states have resulted in civilian injuries and significant damage to critical infrastructure, like the desalination plant in Bahrain, underscoring the tangible and immediate dangers of expanding military aggression. These strikes have also heightened fears of a broader regional confrontation, as the conflict spills beyond Iran's borders, threatening to engulf the Middle East in a more extensive and devastating war. The selection of a new supreme leader in Iran, whose identity remains undisclosed, adds further layers of uncertainty and tension, particularly as Israel issues warnings against any successor to the previous regime. The roots of this conflict can be traced back to the assassination of Iran's former supreme leader, which triggered a series of military responses that have now escalated into sustained air assaults. This escalation has not only disrupted regional stability, but also significantly impacted global economic systems, with oil prices soaring above $100 per barrel. This spike in prices is a direct consequence of choked supply lines and has exacerbated existing turmoil in energy markets, prompting fears of inflation and recession across the globe. From a geopolitical standpoint, the conflict represents a critical test for international alliances and power dynamics. While President Trump has justified initial U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iranian infrastructure as a necessary response to perceived threats, including Iran's nuclear ambitions and its support for proxy militias, the international community remains divided. China's call for an immediate ceasefire contrasts sharply with the U.S.'s aggressive posture, highlighting the complexities and contradictions that define current global relations. Domestically, the conflict has already taken a human toll, as evidenced by the dignified transfer ceremony for American service members recently killed in an Iranian attack. This somber event underscores the personal cost of geopolitical maneuvering, reminding us that behind every strategic decision are individuals whose lives are irrevocably changed. The U.S.'s subsequent demand for Iran's unconditional surrender and its directive to increase missile interceptor production signal a preparation for a potentially prolonged campaign, one that could strain resources and further deplete stockpiles. In the midst of these developments, we witness Ukraine's involvement, as President Volodymyr Zelensky sends military experts to aid Gulf allies in countering Iranian drone technology. Ukraine's participation, based on its own challenging experiences with drones in Eastern Europe, reflects the interconnected nature of modern conflicts and the risk of further entangling nations in an already complex situation. As the world watches, the potential for miscalculations becomes ever more apparent. The conflict could escalate further, perhaps even provoking direct retaliation from Saudi Arabia or the United Arab Emirates. Such developments could transform the current bilateral clashes into a multi-front war with unpredictable outcomes. The economic ripple effects are already visible, with significant job losses in the U.S. and slumping stock markets responding to the crisis. Moreover, this conflict highlights the challenges and vulnerabilities associated with energy dependence. For the U.S., the crisis strengthens arguments for energy independence, yet it also exposes defense readiness weaknesses, particularly concerning shipping lanes and energy infrastructure security. The global energy crisis, fueled by surging oil costs, is having a profound impact on economies worldwide, hitting consumers and industries from Europe to Asia. In closing, as we reflect on the situation, it is essential to recognize the delicate balance between military strategy, economic stability, and humanitarian impact. This conflict, much like those before it, serves as a reminder of the complex tapestry of global relations and the far-reaching consequences of geopolitical decisions. While the path forward remains uncertain, the hope for de-escalation and a peaceful resolution persists. As informed observers, we must continue to engage with these issues thoughtfully, understanding that the ramifications of this conflict extend well beyond the immediate region, affecting supply chains, security alliances, and, ultimately, the lives of countless individuals around the world.